Wife asked a psychic whether to stay with me or with the AP. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I, 33M, and my, 32F, are 8 years past D-Day. I have been lurking here for quite some time, so I'm aware of all the mistakes I made. On D-Day I was getting the laundry together and found a note in there detailing all the answers the psychic gave to her relationship questions. Basically if she should stay with me or be with the AP. I guess there were other things that happened before D-Day too, like when I found her carrying condoms in her purse, or found 2 hidden in her car, then it was 1, pictures on her phone that she took from me but didn't send, spending hours in the bedroom by herself. I even remember hearing her on the phone a few times, but she would always say it was her mom or sister. But the note was the first time he had a name. I immediately left, and this is where the story should end. 3 weeks go by and we start talking again. She answered my questions, but there was constantly something wrong and not adding up about her explanations. After a few conversations she admits she had sex with the guy while we were broken up. I was devastated, and again I should have just walked away, especially when the only thing that truly added up about her story was that she had sex with the guy. I ultimately decided to stay. I recognized incorrectly that because my life was not in a good place that I should accept what happened and what she told me, because there were a lot of things within myself that I needed to work on. The time we spent apart was the springboard I needed to grow up. Things got better between us for the next few years. I had full access to her phone, which I checked frequently at first, less as time went on, and 4 years ago we got married. It wasn't perfect and it never is, but it felt like we were working towards a life, and I can say I started to trust her again. Sometime around July 18 we took a drive through an area we want to build that life in. I remember getting back that day and being really excited about buying a home and starting a family together. I immediately grabbed my computer and started trying to put all our finances in a spreadsheet and really try to nail down how much we could afford and make a budget. I got to the end and asked to see her student loans. You don't need to see the loans, you just need to know how much I pay. There are many fights and screaming matches that end with me saying we will never buy a house together or leave this apartment for another if I don't see her loans. Several tense months later I get tired of waiting for her and pull a year of bank statements from our joint account. Realized that she was defaulting on her debt and only made one larger payment for the entire year. There was a ton of fighting, mostly about whether what she did counted as lying or not. As if completely omitting defaulting on your debt when directly asked about it could be anything other than lying. I couldn't put my finger on why, but I was becoming obsessed with her cheating again. It's sort of easy to see in hindsight that the trickle truth and gaslighting tactics were the same. We have a completely dead bedroom from February through August. Finally, when we sit down and talk, she makes a few admissions from before. The first one was that she would tell me she was going to one place and go see AP, but nothing happened until I left. Still didn't add up. There were 2 condoms in the car and then 1, all of that was before I left. In the last few months we've had the conversation a few more times. Finally she admits that it still only happened once but was before I left. There's clearly a ton she isn't telling me, and she won't tell me because I can't prove that I know it already. I don't see how recovery is ever going to be possible like this, but we start MC this week, so I guess we will see what comes of it. In August, in the first wave of talks, she changed the password to her phone. Her reasoning was that she deserved to have her own private conversations, especially with everything going on. She wants to freely vent to her mom and sister without me seeing. This made me pretty crazy because I really kept myself sane by being able to snoop around and confirm she wasn't cheating. A couple weeks ago we agreed to exchange passwords and phones on the spot. There were some hurtful conversations with her family, but nothing terrible. Of course she immediately starts sleeping with her phone under her pillow and says if I want to see it I can ask first. I thought it looked shady and said so, but I didn't exactly care to look either. I know that she knows I have the password. So I know that she will carefully delete anything she doesn't want me to see. I had an opportunity to look last night, so I took it. She installed Snapchat. The only person she follows is her sister. Her Snap score was 0, so I think that means she hasn't used it. Her fucking AP is top of the quick add list. Haven't talked to her about this yet, but I'm obviously upset. Here are some of the top comments from our community. The fact that you start off the story by saying you should have left makes me think you should just leave, right? What good are these answers going to do you? You clearly don't feel good about this relationship. Are there children involved? Maybe it's time to finally cut your losses. Leaving is as simple as before. You just have to do it. Your wife is so far from being a candidate for reconciliation. And don't do MC, she needs individual counseling to figure out how she can do this to someone she loves first. MC is all about the marriage, and will brush over the affair and not be surprised if it ends up being your fault too. They want to fix the marriage, not work on its problems. Forget those and we'll move forward. Ultimate rug sweeping. Be careful. You know what you need to do. You have zero trust in this woman, and rightfully so. She's done nothing but gaslight you and manipulate you. Why do you want to live this way? This is not love. This is misery. Having to worry what she's up to all the time is pure madness. Be done with her and find your peace. There are many women out there that are loyal and loving. Find one. You can't go back in time and correct your mistakes. You never should have stayed. You can fix the future. See a lawyer and file for divorce. Your future self will thank you. Before mortgage and kids. Best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago. Second best time is today. The affairs and the debt default issues are part of a broad pattern. She is secretive and makes unilateral decisions on matters that dramatically affect you both, without your knowledge or consent. She uses control of information to control you, keeping you in a state of ignorance to rob you of the freedom to make informed decisions about your finances and personal life. She is probably not the sort of person who should be married to anyone. Ever. This is so not okay. She needs to tell you the whole truth, no more lies, no more secrets. You need unrestricted access to her phone. Her right to privacy is not as important as your healing. And AP should be blocked on all means of communication, social media, etc. Get out. Get the fuck out. Stop what you're doing, go see a lawyer in private, pretend you're gonna work on this rocky road artichoke marriage and get out while you can. You're still very young. Go get counseling after your divorce and work on you. Try dating again in 6 months to a year when you've gotten your head straight. I don't think you understand the battle ahead of you. You've been in a dead bedroom for over 6 months and your wife's used one of those condoms. You're literally torturing yourself. You say you've been on this subreddit for quite some time. How many stories have you read post D-Day where there's reconciliation? Also, another shift in the paradigm is that your wife is dogshit with her finances. And she's not letting you in on them. Number one reason for divorce is literally financial problems. Go to a MC if you want in the interim, but also see a divorce lawyer while you're at it in GTFO. Imho, you need to run for the hills. All I see here are excuses you are making up for why she is the way she is, and then lamenting the fact that she is the way she is. It's frankly quite insane, and to be honest, reading your post is like trying to talk someone out of self-harm. And the analogy is apt because your actions are going to cause you irreparable harm both emotionally and financially. I know some people can be masochistic in their lives, self-sacrificing for someone who treats them badly in the hope that their partner will change, but you are on the cusp of really taking this to a whole new level. Please, for your own sake, and for your own future, just leave this woman and go and find a better life. Okay, so what now? Sunk cost fallacy. You say you regret being with her, and yet you still feel that you have to stay with her because of a legal piece of paper and her decades-old history of abuse that has nothing to do with you? I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do anything. But if you truly regret being with her, how that attitude will ever translate to a happy marriage. Sounds like too much resentment. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.